Alright, y'all, this is Love and Hip Hop New York. This is season 8, episode 12. I know this video is late, you guys, but I didn't have any motivation to do any videos yesterday. I'm gonna be honest, I'm starting to feel like I'm becoming burnt out off of reality TV. You guys remember where it was a point in time where reality TV was just so good, and you will wait, you be like itching for the next episode to come on and everything. I can't tell y'all the last time I've really had like that feeling, but I'm not about to go on a whole tirade about it or whatever. Let's just talk about the episode. So it picks up where it left off on the last episode with, Cayenne and Jacquay showing up to Carl's boxing event or whatever you want to call it, and Sophia having egg on her face. So, Snoop is asking her, she's like, so what you gonna do or whatever? And she's like, what you mean? And Snoop is like, man, you better go get your mans or whatever. And Sophia, she's like, that ain't my man and everything. So, Sophia and Safari, they go over to where Cayenne and Jacquay are at. Safari, of course, is dapping Jacquay up and everything. And, Sophia, she's like, I just want to apologize for, what happened between us and everything. And I just want things to be cool between us. And Jacquay was just like, nah. Like, he wasn't with the shits. He's like, it ain't nothing that we gotta talk about. Ain't no reconciliation. We ain't about to be friends and none of that. So, Safari thought that he was doing a good deed or whatever, trying to bring them back together, but he didn't know nothing about Cayenne. And so, Cayenne is like, ain't you the one that Mariah flipped over? I was just like, I don't know about all that, but okay. So then, she's looking at Jacquay and she's like, what you call her, Sophia the thotty and everything. And, they start to have an exchange and, Sophia had rolled her eyes or something like that. And, Cayenne, she starts, popping off even more and everything. And, Sophia is like, what is the problem here? Like, ain't that your man's now? So why are you mad? And so next thing Cayenne, she, pops off for real and brushes the table up on Sophia and everything. And, of course, security interjects and they hollering shit at each other or whatever. And Jacquay, pushes her out, of the door and tells her how she's wilding and everything, in which she was, even though I do like Cayenne or whatever, like, yeah, all of that was just unnecessary. Like, it's clear that Sophia saw, okay, this shit ain't gonna work because he's with this new girl now and everything. So she already knew that she didn't have a chance with getting back with Jacquay or whatever at this point. She just wanted to clear the air with him. You know what I'm saying? So you doing all that extra shit was just like uncalled for. But anyways, then we have, Juju, Remy, and Yandy. Juju, Remy, Yandy, and Jonathan. I'm sorry. They all are having to sit down or whatever. And, pretty much Yandy, she talks about, the hurricane down in St. Martin or whatever, and, how she wants to go down there and, help everybody down there and everything, and how she wants all of them to come and be a part of it. So they cool with it and everything. And she also says, I want the younger girls, like Bianca, Mariah, and Dream Doll and Bree to be a part of this as well or whatever. And Remy is like, listen, I don't want to be around, no girls jumping over tables and shit, this, that, and the third. And she says how she's been seeing stuff in the blogs and she's disappointed in Mariah Lynn and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, but that situation wasn't Mariah's fault. But, okay. So Remy says, well, listen, I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to go talk to Mariah and Bianca at the same time to see if I can get them on board with this shit. So then we have Mariah meeting up with somebody that I didn't expect her to meet up with, and that would be Rich. She meets up with him in a restaurant or whatever, and she's, of course, going over their history, them knowing each other for 7 years, them being together for 3 years, off and on, and, pretty much she apologizes for, messing around with Cisco or whatever. She knows that she was out of line and out of order for that. She didn't really know how to express herself to him, to Rich once, she saw that Rich was with Moniece and everything, and I guess she felt some type of way about him being with Moniece. So, she's tearing up or whatever, and, he's like, what's that for and everything. And she says, I just know that I was out of order. I was out of order. I was out of line and everything, and I'm just really sorry about that, and I just want us to be friends again. So, he says that they're good and everything or whatever. So she's like, okay, well, now I got a problem here. About the situation with Bree and Bree and Bianca. And he's like, yeah, I'm aware of that beef and everything. And she's like, okay, well now Dream Doll wanna, beef with me or whatever because they beefing and she wanna drag me into the beef and they ain't got shit to do with neither one of us. You know what I'm saying? And now Self, he wants to sit up here and act like I'm the common denominator. And so, also too, when I was at Snoop's event or whatever, Bree came at me crazy or whatever, this, that, and the third, because I was having a conversation with Safari, and Safari was supposed to be dating Dream Doll or whatever. And so, she's like, this bitch is causing problems and you need to let her go or whatever. And he's like, hold up, before you, sit up here talking about who I should be letting go and this, that, and the third, or you want to give up that Pinkberry and everything. And she all giddy like, or whatever. And I was just like, really, Mariah? Like, I'm just like, okay, so she got to sit up here and give up some cooch for you to talk to your motherfucking artist. Like, I hope she really didn't give him none, like, seriously, like. But I was just like, ugh. But yeah, then she had the nerve to like give him a kiss on the lips. I was just like, whatever. Let's move on. Anyways, then we have, Self, Jacquay, and Safari meeting up or whatever. And Safari, he apologizes to Jacquay and everything. He thought he was doing a good deed by bringing Sophia. And, Jacquay is not even tripping about it or whatever, this, that, and the third. And, that's when I think Safari said something about how he not trying to be messy or whatever, this, that, and the third. And Self was like, oh, really, and everything. And Safari is like, listen, Dream Doll is trying to control me and this, that, and the third. And I won't about to let that happen. And so Self gonna have the audacity to blame Safari for his his relationship with Dream Doll is the reason why things is worse with Dream Doll and Mariah Lynn than what it really was and all this other stuff. I'm like, no. It's your fault because you sitting up here co-signing to your artist, Dream Doll, who's in the wrong. You co-signing to her bullshit instead of putting her in her motherfucking place, and you just constantly coming at Mariah Lynn. Like, you constantly coming at the wrong person. You need to be coming at Dream Doll. And then on top of that, you sitting up here talking about Mariah Lynn's business to Dream Doll. Like, yeah, come on, Self. You need to take some motherfucking responsibility for your bullshit and stop blaming everybody else, okay? That shit just had me in my bag for a minute. But anyways, so then we have Jonathan. He goes to see his sister Jasmine and everything, and he talks about how she's one of the main reasons that he moved back to New York. And he's saying how he feels so disconnected from the family, and she's like, why? And he brings up the folder that they found when they were like 15 years old or whatever, and in the folder it explains why his mom had sent him to the DR when he was like 10, and she sent him for gay conversion therapy. And, when he was just going into details about, like, the things that he had to endure, like, my heart was hurting for him because, and it seems like, definitely he loved his mom or whatever, but obviously, yeah, he did hold some type of resentment towards her for, sending him there and everything and not just letting him be him. You know what I'm saying? But it seemed like from the mom's standpoint, she just, didn't want him to be, live his life, live his life growing up, I should say, being bullied or whatever, because, he was different and everything. But, he was saying how they used to lock him up up in a room for like 8 hours at a time. And, he also went into some other details later on when, he was talking to his mom. But, he starts to get emotional and everything, and like I said, my heart really broke for him as he was talking about it. And Jasmine, she didn't know that all of this happened and everything, and so she embraces him, she hugs him, and she pretty much tells him, like, I know it's going to be a hard thing for you, but you have to have this conversation. You have to have this conversation with mom or whatever, and let her know how you feel so you can just release that shit and let it go. So then we have, Remy, Bianca, Mariah meeting up in the clothing store. And Remy pretty much confronts Mariah about the situation with Dream. And Mariah tells her, like, listen, the bitch, started the shit with me or whatever. And then, when we met up and everything, she was popping off, started talking about my Duke. So I had to come across the table on her ass, So, Bianca, she's like, you told me to never let nobody disrespect you ever. And Remy is like, yeah, but that doesn't mean you can sit up here and attack every single person every single time or whatever, this, that, and the third. And I was just like, okay, Remy. Might want to take some of your own advice, but, anyway, so, she pretty much tells them that they all need to have like this sit down or whatever, like, this bullshit has to stop and everything if they want their careers to pop off. So they was like, okay, we'll have a sit down with these girls or whatever, fine. So then we have Rich and Bree. She's doing a music video with Trina or whatever. And I do remember seeing her on the Breakfast Club with Trina. I guess she's supposed to be Trina's protege now. And I'm just like, Trina, why? But whatever. So, after Trina leaves, Rich pretty much confronts Bree about the situation with Mariah Lynn or whatever. And he's like, so you got something you want to tell me, about Snoop's event, like I heard some stuff was going on and everything, like, I sat down with Mariah Lynn, bitch, you're caught red-handed. And he's like, listen, why would you go looking for problems? You know what I'm saying? And she's like, me and her don't like each other, this, that, and the third. And Rich is like, listen, you gotta stop being the common denominator. And she feels as though her and Dream would have had issues if she would have let the shit slide in regards to, watching Mariah Lynn talk to Safari and everything. And Rich is like, but who the fuck are you to sit up here and tell a grown-ass man who he can and can't work with? And that's true. Like, we all been saying, like, who the fuck are y'all? Who the fuck is you? And who the fuck damn sure is Dream Doll to be sitting up here telling Safari in his damn 30s, telling him who he can and can't work with? Like, this is a motherfucking business, okay? You know what I'm saying? So anyways, and as much shit your ass be starting Dream Doll, I guess Safari wouldn't be working with no goddamn body, okay? So anyways, Rich is like, at the end of the day, your career is in my hands. You know what I'm saying? So you making me look bad with you, causing all this controversy and shit like that, this, that, and the third. And so he's like, do we got to have this conversation again? And she's like, no, whatever. And he walks off. That's probably one of the very few times I be here for Rich, okay? Because, like, he was right. You know what I mean? But anyways, so then we have Cayenne and, Jacquay, and Mariah Lynn. They're in the studio. Well, actually, Cayenne is in the studio, spitting that fire or whatever. Then Jacquay and Mariah Lynn, that's when they come in or whatever. And, Mariah Lynn senses, that something is going on between them. And then that's when they spill the beans. Like, yeah, we're seeing each other or whatever. And so Jacquay was about to bring up the situation with Sophia or whatever. And then Cayenne is like, nah, let me tell it because you might, leave some shit out or whatever. So, she's telling Mariah about the situation, pretty much trying to say how Sophia was trying to, like, apologize and get back with Jacquay. I'm like, now, Cayenne, She was not trying to get back with Jacquay. Yeah, her intentions of coming there was to get back with Jacquay, but you didn't know that. And like I said, once she saw, okay, yeah, trying to get back with him is not going to work, she backed off of that idea and just really just wanted to be cool with him at that point. So yeah, you kind of telling some shit that's, inaccurate, but whatever. So then she talks about how, back in 2015, because she feels like she kind of let that situation revert her back to her old ways or whatever. And she was saying how back in 2015 she had to get jaw surgery or whatever because she got jumped by some girls, and one of them kicked her, in her jaw and everything. And she was saying how she almost died, and she was like fucked up for like a good 3 months and everything. And so she starts getting emotional or whatever, like she trying not to cry and everything. And Jacquay is hugging her or whatever, so he's hugging her, and she kind of pulls away, and she's like, no, because I don't want no problems with nobody and everything, and I'm just trying to live right. And I was like, oh, Cayenne. But yeah, girl, like I said, all that shit that she did with Sophia, it was unnecessary. It was unnecessary. But like I said, she just was crouching down, and Jacquay crouched down beside her, and was comforting her and everything, and Mariah was comforting her too. So then we have Jonathan having the conversation with his mom, and his sister is there. And they start talking about the DR, and he's saying he knows why his mom sent him there, but it was a nightmare. And so that's when he starts saying how they would give him hormones, and the hormone shots that they gave him, it would be to the point where he couldn't bend his legs or whatever. And then they would give him like a lie detector test, and put like these machines on him, and like if he answered the question a certain way, he'll get shot. And his mom starts getting emotional. She's like, Jonathan, stop, and this, that, and the third. And the sister is like, no, let him talk, let him get it out and everything. And he's saying like, I had resentment towards you for years because you sent me there and everything, and this, that, and the third. And this is why I kind of didn't want to talk to you about it, because I knew you was going to react like this, and I didn't want to make you feel like just so bad about it, because I knew that you were just trying to protect me and everything, this, that, and the third. But it was torture being there. And she talks about how proud of him she is, and all this other stuff. And they hug and everything. So I hope that Jonathan can finally start to heal from that situation, because it's very unfortunate. So then we have the sit down. Yandy and Remy is orchestrating this sit down. So Yandy, she comes in with like this basket or whatever. So she's like, so these ladies can take their shoes off at the door. It ain't gonna be no shoe throwing up in here today. I'm like, that don't mean motherfuckers still ain't gonna try to fight. I'm just saying, So Mariah Lynn and Bianca show up first or whatever, and then Dream Doll and Bree show up. But she tells Mariah and Bianca to kind of step back or whatever, because she knew that Dream Doll and Bree were about to come in, and she didn't want them to be nowhere near like close to each other and everything. So Dream Doll gonna sit up here and talk about it wasn't my fight or whatever, but it became my fight when Mariah made it when Mariah, was sitting up here trashing me and Bree. I'm like, am I in the fucking Twilight Zone here? Am I having tunnel vision right now? Because I could have sworn you were the one who dragged Mariah into this bullshit. Okay? Even though I did see on the Shade Room about like a week or two ago, Mariah and Dream Doll, they cool now. But I mean, in regards to the show, I'm saying. Anyways, Bree, she starts it off saying, like, sitting up here going out fighting people that ain't even my style or whatever. I'm about the music, I ain't want shit to get this far, like, yeah, I did come at Bianca and the rap and everything, but that's how I express myself or whatever. And Remy was like, well, okay, girl, there's repercussions when you doing this Instagram shit, when you saying people names in songs, it's repercussions to that shit. You can't expect everybody to, just fall back and be like, oh, she just expressing herself. You know what I'm saying? And, she's like, promoters is not going to want to book somebody who they think is going to be a problem. And Bianca in the background talking about they booking me or whatever, and Yandy had to tell her to be quiet. So then Bianca is cutting Remy off as Remy is talking about some the same way she wanted to drag me or whatever, this, that, and the third, and something else that she was saying. And that's when Bree was like, bitch, you know what you did, and this, that, and the third. You send up here talking about me in text messages. You're a thought. You fuck everybody and everything. And then that's when Bianca, of course, does her infamous move. She jumps up trying to get at Bree and everything. And I'm just like, once again. Once a fucking again, okay? But that was the episode, you guys. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys come back. And I know you guys know this. I didn't talk about Lil Mo and her shit because I'm over the shit with her and Carl, okay? So I'm not talking about them no more. But make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys come back. And I'll be back in here for Love and Hip Hop Miami, y'all. All right. Peace.